Hey guys, this is Eli and welcome back to another Minecraft video. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at item elevators. Now, item elevators are a pretty essential redstone contraption because it's very easy to get items to go downwards or sideways, but it's a little trickier to get them to go upwards. Now, there are a ton of different designs out there in order to achieve this. In this video, we're going to take a look at my top 3 favorite designs. So let's go ahead and get started. The first design is pretty simple but highly effective. This is a design by a YouTuber called Mcpeachpies, and it uses the mechanics of the new observer block to create a very rapid clock around this dropper. And we can actually test this just by throwing in a bunch of items. You'll see that they get spat ridiculously fast into the air. Now at the moment it's pretty much useless, our items aren't going very high, but there is a known glitch in the game where if we build a 3x3 structure with the dropper at its center at the bottom, if we just throw in a bunch of items here, you should see that they get spat all the way through the structure and taken all the way to the top. Now you can build whatever you want here, it doesn't need to be droppers, you can do a water stream. I would actually suggest you do a few more than 2 droppers because you do get the occasional item to jump out just like that. Now this doesn't need to be glass, you can actually replace this with most other solid blocks and it also seems to work. Now one very important point to make about this design is Mojang have a habit of breaking this mechanic every single update, so there has been several different versions of this over the years. At the moment this one works in 1.11, of course you couldn't build this beforehand because we wouldn't have the observer block. Do check down in the description to see if this version is also working in future updates. And if you want to see the full video by Mcpeachpies, there will be a link in the description as well. Now if you're planning on building a bunch of these item elevators around your base and you're a little bit worried that Mojang are going to break them all in the next update, then this might be the design for you. It's by a YouTuber called K1 Inc. I'll put a link to his tutorial down in the description, and this is a pure redstone design. What I mean by that is it doesn't use any kind of bugs or glitches to work, it just uses simple redstone mechanics in order to push items up a dropper elevator all the way from the very bottom dropper to this top chest here. We can actually just test this out by throwing a bunch of items into this hopper, and you see we get this really cool cascade effect with the redstone torches where they're lighting up one by one as they move up. And actually each one of these torches on the side here is enough to power 2 of these droppers. So that allows the items to move up 2 droppers for each torch here. And if we just check this top chest, you should see we're getting all of our items fed in there now. Now this is probably one of my favorite designs for the simple reason that it is totally silent. That's something that's very important to me. If you're planning on building a bunch of these around your base, you don't want your redstone to be making a bunch of irritating dropper clicking noise in the background. You want something completely silent. I guess it does have a slight flaw in that it's a little bit on the slow side, and for whatever reason, if you did want to feed items into the system, you have to use a hopper going in. If you just throw in a stack of items into this dropper, the whole system locks up and stops working. It's not really that big a deal, and I can't ever picture any scenarios where you would need to do that, but if it is a concern for you, then the next design might be the one for you. The third and final design is probably my favorites of all the designs, and this is yet another one by K1 Inc. and it actually improves upon his previous design slightly. It's a little bit faster than the previous one, and it now allows for a full stack of items to be placed into this dropper. Now this one actually uses a hopper clock circuit, so here we just have 2 hoppers facing into each other, and there's just a single item which bounces back and forth, and that allows us to create this 4-tick clock circuit from this comparator, which basically powers the whole system, giving us that cascade effect and pushing items from this bottom dropper to the top. And if we just take a look inside this chest, you can already see the items are coming in much faster than they were with the previous design. Now once again, this design is completely silent, which of course by now you should know that I love that, and you can actually place 2 of these side by side, which is kind of really cool if you need to squeeze them into a small space. Now with the second design you could actually put them side by side as well, but you do get a very tiny clicking noise with the bottom dropper. This one, when you place them side by side, there's absolutely no clicking noise at all, so that can be very advantageous if you want to squeeze 2 of these into a very small space. And just to prove a point, we've just popped into my single player series to check out these item elevators in action. Now this is actually a modified version of Tango Tech's storage system. I've changed it up slightly to make it completely silent, and if you just take a look at this now, we have a bunch of these dropper elevators. These are all the third designs, they're all working at the moment, so if we just look at this we should see items passing through the system, but if you do listen very carefully, you will hear the sweet sound of silence. Yeah, that's right. There is no noise whatsoever in this system. It's completely silent. We have so many droppers in this area, so much redstone going on, and there isn't a single dropper click to be had. So if you do want to build something like this in your base and sound levels are really important to you, then do check out these dropper elevator designs because they can be extremely handy to have. Well, that is all for this video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, then please consider hitting that like button, and if you want to see more of my content, then please do subscribe. I've been Eli, thanks for watching.